So I'm out here in the woods and I've been stalking these wildflowers, these yellow lady slippers for several years. And today I'm going to show you how I set up to do a focus stack shot using the Nikon Z6ii and the F-mount 105 Nikon 2.8 BR lens. And that is a F-mount, not a Z-mount lens. So I'm going to turn this camera around and show you my setup right here. It's kind of funny to look at. So I had a piece of black foam board at the house that I brought, and this exit sign was something I had at work. I'm just kind of holding it up there, and the diffuser on top. I'm trying to block the wind from blowing these lady slippers around. I'm trying to get a black background, so that's why I brought the black foam board. So I'm going to set up here. I'm going to do 90 frames, 91 frames at one step. That's a Nikon terminology. And my camera settings currently are 1/500th of a second at f5.6, and the ISO is at 640. So I'm going to take these shots right now. Just kind of waiting for the wind to calm down just a little bit. And I've tried to show you the screen here. I don't know if you can see it or not. This is my composition. This is a clump of 3 yellow lady slippers that I'm trying to capture and get them all in focus. So the idea when you're doing a focus stack shot is to get the closest point, which is right about there, to your camera. Just go ahead and manually dial that in focus, and then start the focus shift photography in the Nikon Z6ii shooting, and it'll rack itself out through the frame, getting everything in focus as it moves its way back. So I'm waiting for the wind to calm down right now, so we'll do that in just a second. So the wind has finally calmed down enough. I'm going to go into the focus shift shooting menu. I've already got it set up for 91 shots at focus step width of 1. The interval until next shot is 0, and everything else is on. And I think I'm going to start this in just a second. As soon as this wind calms down, you can see it's kind of blowing the leaves a little bit above the camera here. So just as soon as that does, I'm going to start this shot. Okay, the camera is now recording the 91 exposures, and the wind is trying to blow on me again. I may have to do this several times to get this to be perfectly still. You really want your subject to be perfectly still if you can. And the wind just keeps picking up. I may have to do it again. I found this area a couple years ago in the woods, and there's a lot of lady slippers here, a lot of yellow ones. I don't see any pink ones. There's other flowers up here also. There's some more lady slippers right there. There's an abundance of them. One next to that tree, one back there. There's a lot of them. There's 2 or 3 up there. Kind of the most I've ever seen in one area. I don't know what I'm going to do about this wind. It's still trying to blow in here. I've been trying to get this shot for about 4 or 5 days, and I thought today might be the day. There's a little tree right next to the flowers, and I'm trying to get that in my frame so I can show a little interest right there, but also capture all 3 lady slippers so you can see them in the frame. Well, I'm not sure. I think I got it. We won't know till I get it home and get it in the computer. When I get it in the computer, I'll show you the process for stacking these images manually using Photoshop. This first shot is a vertical composition I did of the lady slippers. These are the focus stack images. There's some artifacts in these. Photoshop does not do a very good job of stacking them, or I don't do a very good job of taking the series. I don't know which one it is. Okay, I set up for one more shot of these lady slippers, and I got the D500 out with the 500 PF on it, and I'm focusing on that clump right there that's got about 7 or 8 lady slippers. And what I did is I brought a black piece of foam board this morning so I could get a black background on these flowers. And what I did is I took and put a rod behind it, because I'm on a hillside here at an angle, and a paper clip with a string to hold the board up there so it wouldn't slide down the hill. And I'm going to take a few shots of that, and I'll show those in the video now. I believe I like this composition better than the previous focus stacked images. This one was not focus stacked. It was a single shot taken with the D500 using the 500 PF lens. So this is not going to be a focus stack. What I had the camera set at 1/640th of a second at f/16, and the ISO is 3200 on this, so I'll have to run it through some denoise software when I get it home. So I'm going to take a few shots while the wind's not blowing, and I think that looks pretty good. Okay, while I was photographing wildflowers up here, I kept hearing all these birds. So I'm going to sit right here for a minute and see what kind of birds they are. I'm going to have to pull up my Merlin ID app and see what it says.